Everybody's in. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back from the coffee break. Gudjon asked me to introduce myself, and I'll be happy to do so. But first of all, I'll say it's. I may have met some of you people in this very room back in 2005, where I visited Iceland for the first time, and it's really a pleasure to come back to your island. I just wanted to say to you that sometimes when you live in a place, you tend to forget how beautiful it really is. But when you come once in a while and have a look, you appreciate it maybe a little bit more. And just being a part of being here again is really a pleasure for me. And I urge you all to appreciate what a wonderful place on earth you actually live in. You have everything people ask for, close to nature, magnificent scenery, beautiful lights. So remember that even if you're living here on every day, it's a beautiful place on earth. A little commercials or a little thing about ourselves. Sorry, I don't know if this is... everybody understands more or less? Thank you. I'm working for Fagerhult Lighting Academy. It's situated in Copenhagen. We founded it back in 2004, and we use it mainly for internal training of our own salespeople and our technical staff. And I'm the director of Fagerhult Lighting Academy, and it's been my work since 2004. I'm here together with my colleague Robert Clausen, who is taking care of business here in Iceland, and he invited me to come along and visit Smith & Norland. And we made a small presentation sheet that you can get when you leave about the Fagerhult Group and whatever we can offer you through Smith & Norland and present our products like that. But that's not really the main reason why I'm here. I'm here to talk about light. And sometimes people just have to stop me because I get sometimes really excited when I talk about lighting. So if you just sort of slow down, then I'll do my best to slow down. Well, I'd like to start this journey together with you all the way back when our part of the universe was created. Before the Earth really was created, the sun was in the center of our part of the solar system. And while the sun was sitting there, the dust and the gravel revolved around the sun and created the planets. But already at that time, the amount of energy that the sun boosts out into our solar system was enormous. So before even the first sting of living tissue was raised on Earth, we had a very well-defined energy source in the middle of our solar system. And the sun is still that same reliable energy source that we have on an everyday basis ever since the first life appeared on Earth. You know, the electromagnetic spectrum that is radiating from the sun moves all the way from radio waves on the long wave through microwave and infrared, all the way up to the dangerous gamma rays and ultraviolet radiation. In the middle, we have the visible light, which is the wavelengths that we see around this area, split up all from the red all the way to blue. But the funny thing is actually to think about that as soon as we move away from the visible light, we come into a danger zone. Humans cannot stand too much infrared, which is like heat. If we come too close to powerful microwaves, that will probably kill us. And the same way in the other rays, ultraviolet gives us in a moderate amount a decent skin or suntan. But if we move to a higher level or more energetic ultraviolet, it will cause skin cancer, and it can eventually kill us, as can X-ray and gamma rays. So we are actually safe in a small energy pattern. The small part of the sun, radiation from the sun, that is not dangerous for us is actually really healthy for us. So if you imagine that this is sort of a representation of a solar system in the right size relation. So the Earth is actually a very, very small place compared to the sun, which has the natural size. And that means that even though the sun is 8 minutes away from us traveling at light speed, it gives us very powerful sunlight, it gives us parallel rays, it gives us all the textures, all the shadows, all the experiences we have with light is always based on the daylight and on the parallel light beams that comes from the sun. So along with the health-giving and healthy sun rays, we also have the more dangerous rays, as I just mentioned. But the funny thing that the Earth is surrounded by a magnetic field, which is like a shield that divides all the bad things away from us and lead the good things to us. So if you imagine energy-rich particles being radiated from the sun, they are deflected on the magnetic field around the Earth. And all the good things, sort of like the heat, the sunshine, the visible light, and the UV radiation, it just goes straight through and illuminates the side of the Earth. Up here we have the pleasure of being able to see Aurora Borealis if the weather is good. It was actually one of my wishes to Christian to have a possibility to see that, because I would really love to watch that scenery of nature. Because that's the energy-rich particles that comes from the sun that are diverted by the magnetic field and drops down to the northern part through this grid and gives us this beautiful scenery of nature. Well, it was overcast and we had to do with a swim instead of watching Aurora Borealis, but that's a reason to come back again then. If we look at the visible light that comes in straight lines from the sun and goes straight through this shield, it hits the Earth and illuminates the Earth in this way. So a very clear pattern of day and night zones, and the Earth rotating 24 hours a day, which has been done forever. And actually what I would like to share with you is where we started to evolve as human beings. 7 million years ago, all life that was resembling to human beings was in this area. We call it the sub-Sahara area, where we had the apes, and we started to climb down from the trees around 7 million years ago. But for the next 5 million years, we stayed very, very close to these trees because we weren't really able to survive on the ground, and that's why we still, if we needed security, we needed to climb back up into the trees. Because once we got down, we were sort of like standing like this, and the grass was about that high, so it was very dangerous to be there, and that's why we slowly erected ourselves to look over the grass and to be able to see the animals that would attack us or the enemy. And over these kind of million years, we stayed very close to the trees, so if ever something happened, we could rush up into the trees and then go down again when it was safe. And during those 5 million years, all of our senses and our brains, our visual system, evolved to as it is today. It's pretty close when we started to leave Africa to what we have today. So the brain looks the way it did, the eyes, the retina, the wavelength that we are receiving is exactly as it was for 5 million years in Africa. So whenever you think about it, the brain still thinks today that we are in Central Africa. And even though we're indoor, the brain still feels that we are outdoor and tries to make a match, tries to see how is it, what time of day is it, where are we, and is this really inside an auditorium or are we somewhere in the middle of Africa? Around 1 million years ago, man invented controlled fire. So for the first 6 million years, we only had sunlight, which was sort of the same sunlight as we have today, and the blue sky above us. For 1 million years, we have had artificial lighting in forms of campfires. So whenever you do, imagine a lighting design, if you have the white light, the blue light coming from above, the red and the yellow coming from beneath, our body feels comfortable. If you flip these two around, so you have red light coming from above, blue light from beneath, our body just says something is wrong here, I'm standing upside down. So you actually need to respect the way that the light comes in nature. So if you want to do lighting from below, choose some amber or red colors so that it emulates the fire or the campfire that we are comfortable with. So whenever I try to inspire young people talking about lighting design, I say, imagine you were in Central Africa and imagine how the light is there. And if you do that,